Greetings, citizens, and thanks for tuning in to Nindie Nation. I'm Jeff, and we've got what just might be our shortest lineup ever as we take a look at the best new independently developed games coming to the Nintendo Switch eShop this week. If anything's jumping out at you, let's talk about it down in the comments, or we can really get into it over on the Nindie Nation Discord. Also, this is your last chance to submit your entries for our 2023 Game of the Year contest. So if you want to win some eShop credit, go check out the YouTube community page to enter. Other than that, hit like, subscribe for more weekly indie goodness, share this video with other indie gamers, and let's do this thing. These are the only new notable Nindies hitting the Nintendo Switch through Sunday, February 18th. Dropping on the eShop with love, Wednesday, February 14th, is Lords of Exile, a game I've been anticipating since its announcement a couple years back. Can you see why? The solo developer, Carlos Ezuaga, formed Squidbit Works when originally launching the game's Kickstarter back in 2020. And while its design inspiration stems from classic Castlevania, check this out. Lords of Exile, first of all, is an action platformer with 8-bit linear levels, so it's all about that classic challenge and structure. It's built to look 8-bit, but built within a 16-bit engine just to get the controls feeling like it was right from that era. And if that wasn't enough, the sound effects and music were designed with the Sega Genesis sound chip in mind to deliver that crunchy Yamaha-fueled chiptunes that you're hearing now. Talk about a labor of love, huh? The game wears its heart on its sleeve and reads as if Carlos knew exactly what he wanted to build before he set out to do so. I love how the level structure is very Castlevania-esque, but still adds in downward attacks and a bit more platforming than we'd usually see from the early entries in that series. And the bosses look like they'd fit right alongside any classic Ninja Gaiden or Mega Man. I'm hoping it isn't quite as hard as Cyber Shadow, as that game nearly broke me, but here in Nindieland, we have a history of getting excellent 8-bit titles early in the year. So if all goes according to plan, we'll see Lords of Exile follow in the footsteps of Cyber Shadow, Infernax, and the like when it releases by way of Pixel Heart and PID Games for $19.99. But if you'd prefer your Valentine's Day to have fewer demons bleeding out inside of Gothic castles, hey, I get it. And that's why we've got Arzette, the Jewel of Phanmore. It's another first release, this time by CDI Software, and if you've spent any amount of time going down Nintendo YouTuber rabbit holes, you can probably guess what this game is trying to do. Back in the early 90s, Nintendo started to play fast and loose with their IP, and we can credit the following 30 years of reluctance to ever do that again to two projects. One being the theatrical masterpiece that is Super Mario Bros. The movie, and two, the trio of Zelda games that released for the Philips CDI. It's the latter, specifically the Faces of Evil and Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, that Arzette is riffing so hard on, but the team is actually genuinely setting out to make the games that could have and should have been. John Linneman from Digital Foundry is Arzette's level designer, and he said he's aiming for the game to resemble what we'd see out of the Monster World series, being a side-scrolling adventure with hack-and-slash combat. Then, of course, we've got the cutscenes in all of their low-budget, off-the-books Russian outsourcing quality, and whoever set out to do this absolutely nailed it. They even went so far as to recruit the original voice actors who played Link and Zelda in those old CDI games. Arzette is the type of game that we've seen before, for sure, but it's a different kind of retro throwback, where it's less about reliving the past and more about answering what could have been. And I totally dig that approach. I look forward to picking it up this week, and while it is published via Limited Run Games, the good news is that it's reasonably priced at $19.99, and you won't have to wait 14 months to play it. And then we've got a weird one, because I swear I have seen Played Up a million times. I immediately recognize its derpy clay figurines with clothes on style, and recognize the game's artwork, but I guess it's just now coming to the Switch, 18 months after launching on Steam. And here's the thing, it looks like Overcooked, but it's actually not like it at all. The moment-to-moment gameplay is much closer to something like The Sims, where you manage a bunch of spinning plates,
no pun intended,
between the people and the food you're cooking for them. And then there's a whole management sim aspect to how you design, build, and grow your restaurant too. They even mixed it up further by making the game's campaign leverage roguelite progression. So while it may look familiar alongside games like Overcooked and Moving Out, as I said, it's quite a bit different. On Steam, PlateUp's reviews bounce between very positive and the coveted overwhelmingly positive. While it doesn't have quite enough reviews to get a meta or open critic rating, everything I saw landed it somewhere in the upper 70s to lower 80s, so it seems to be well reviewed across the board. If you want to test your restaurant management skills just as much as your cooking ability, and you might want to do so with up to 3 others, PlateUp is developed by It's Happening and releases on February 15th by Yogscast Games for $19.99. And that's, it. I mean, that's really it. That's every game from this week that I think is worth considering. There are a couple games that are kinda on the line though, so since you clicked on this video, let's give them a quick look, okay? I took one look at the game called Birth, and just before I noped right out of this point-and-click adventure, I decided to read more of what it's all about.
Birth is an adventure game about constructing a creature from spare bones and organs found around the city in order to quell your loneliness.
I just had to know more, didn't I?
Banshu Tactics
Is a decent idea. It takes the premise of gangs running Japanese high schools, a la River City Showdown, Kunio-kun, and the like, and it turns it into a tactical squad-based RPG. So it's kind of like they blended River City and Like a Dragon or something, but the thing is, I've yet to be impressed by anything published by Fly High Works, so I'll pass for now. And then, just for old time's sake, before we go our separate ways today, citizens, let's take a quick look at some of the crap I had to step over to find the games that you've seen so far. My name is Mayo3, just might be the poster child for everything wrong with self-publishing games on consoles. You just mash a button to unlock all the trophies within a minute, and for $1, it blew up on the old PlayStation Vita store. Now you can do the same thing, but since there's no trophies or achievements on the Switch, your $2 would probably serve you better cashed out into a bag of nickels that you could use to beat yourself over the head with. Twilight survivors. Do I need to explain this one? Party Time 2 is here, my friends, though you'd probably have a more enjoyable party time with Jim Jones. Go ahead, Google it, I'll wait. If you take a look at the library from Lone Minded, you may see why I'm immediately ashamed of going easy on Inertia and Inertia Redux in the past. This son of a just keeps releasing the same low-poly, run-through-the-obstacle course games that would be better suited for Roblox. Art of Glide? Must have named it after his last bowel movement. And then, my friends, we end your day with a doozy. Those of you in our Discord know that Red Deer Games triggers me, releasing games that are perpetually 80 to 90% off with no less than 5 re-releases a year just so they can game the eShop and scam all of you. And it especially makes me feel bad for the developers who put their livelihood at stake when signing with these clowns. But nevertheless, this is what we've got this week. Top Web Search 23. Fine, I'll play your game. Let's see what the top results are for Worst eShop Publisher. Yeah, see that? Wait, does that say 477 games published? Aw man, f you guys. Let's get to the outro. You picking up PlateUp, RZ, or Lords of Exile? I'm hoping to get some time with at least the latter two, but let me know what you think of those titles and any others from today's episode down in the comments, and as always, come join us on Discord to meet other Nindie Nation citizens. Make sure to check out the YouTube community page for the 2023 Game of the Year contest, as voting will close at the end of this coming weekend, February 18th, right along the posting of our Game of the Year video. And hey, I'm putting up some decent eShop money here, so get in there and try to win it. We're still in the thick of Nintendo Direct and Indie World season, which is further evident because there really isn't much coming to the eShop until March. However, next week is delivering 2 turn-based strategy games, with Incolinati focused on 2D papercraft, and Tenderfoot Tactics reminding me a lot of the Banner Saga, but supposedly with an open world. Sounds cool, but you're gonna have to keep your eyes peeled for more on those games, citizens, because you know what? We're all done for today. Thanks so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing Nindie Nation with others. Until next week, I'm Jeff. This has been Nindie Nation episode 205. And remember, no matter what type of game you're looking for, Nindie Nation will be right here to help you find just the thing to keep your Joy-Cons synced.